Hello, and welcome to the Common Briefing Program. This is a part of the Common Geeking Program where each month we take a look at geek news, try to review the hottest headlines for the most important, interesting, or impactful stories. We try to basically get each other up to speed on what the geek landscape looks like. My name is Colin. I am the host of these geeky affairs, and I am joined by...
My name is Jeff, and I'm here to say I've got nothing to add to my introduction in a major way.
Hi, I'm Timel, or Chowder, whichever you prefer. I want to take a nap.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can't help but observe a distinctly, cozy, nappy energy to the group today.
Sure. It's that kind of day, you know?
It's
cooling down.
Yep, yeah.
I'm in New York right now.
So then
just so you're aware.
You're under the same gray clouds we are at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's the first fall day. Not the first day of fall, but it feels like the first fall day in that, I'm wearing a hoodie and pajama pants for the first time in God only knows how long.
That's that good shit.
That's that good shit. I just edited a big long thing, and it was easy to edit, but it was long. And I was like, you know what? Some ambience will help. So I threw on some thunderstorms to fit the vibe and whatnot. And man, listening to 2 hours of thunderstorm sounds and ambience, that just helped put you even deeper in the cozy hole, you know? That's where I am right now. So I'm feeling it. I kind of want a hot drink and, like Chowder, a nap. Big time.
I'd bet you anything that you would not be able to guess what I've been doing all day.
Chowder, do you have a guess? If not, I can probably stomach one.
Were you at a wedding?
No.
I
was not at a wedding.
Were you disassembling your many Transformers toys to recombine them like a Lego MOC, even though the parts aren't designed to do that?
That was frighteningly close. I've been fucking reconstructing a bunch of Bionicles all day.
Oh, hell yeah. That's that cozy vibe.
Yeah. I was like, I want to kind of take stock and see what parts I actually have. And there's been a few that I'm like, oh, I kind of thought that all the parts were long lost for this guy, but now I'm actually looking at the thing in its entirety. I'm like, that's probably in this parts bin in a manner of speaking. So I've been trying to rebuild some guys.
That's dope. That is not exclusively a fall vibe, but there is something indescribably cozy about just sitting down with a bunch of Legos and seeing hey, what can I do? What ideas from my brain can manifest themselves here?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Chowder, we are in your pre-nap territory. What is occupying your day? What has put you in the cozy hole?
The cozy hole.
Listen, I said it. I'm sticking with it.
That's got to be the name of the episode. Is the cozy hole.
That's what this is.
Sleep. Not getting enough sleep last night. That's what's put me in the cozy hole. Well, that and it's just the right temperature to
Yeah.
I keep thinking of, when you say the cozy hole, I'm imagining an announcement of the cozy hole in the same vein of the girls' room from the Amanda Show. It's it's the girls' room. It's the cozy hole.
Should I redo the whole episode from the top and just say, welcome to the cozy hole, and see if that, turns off anybody? No?
You can just start off with fucking Colin, please.
Colin, please. Yeah, no, it's weird. I'm always working to keep the temperature in my room down. I'm in an upstairs apartment at the moment, and I have a lot of electronics running. Some of it's pretty low power, but it's still a lot of electronics, so my room can heat up pretty quickly. So I'm always fighting to get my room to high 60s, low 70s as an equilibrium. And today it is just that low, high 60s vibe outside, and that it is just... Man, when the temperature's coming from outside, it really just changes the whole vibe.
Are you fucking telling me that in the winter, your fucking apartment is basically heated up by an Xbox?
No, at that point, the radiator is on. But the problem I have during the summer is I cool the apartment down, and then by 7 o'clock, when it's finally sometimes cool enough outside, my Xbox is nah, we're going to crank that shit right back up. It's pretty rough. It's basically a space heater pointed at the ceiling, but...
Same.
Yeah, the weird part is when I was a younger man, Falling asleep wasn't that hard. I could fall asleep on just about anything, but now it's everything has to be right. The bed's got to be the right firmness, not too soft, not too hard. It's got to be the right temperature. There's got to be some background noise.
Have you experienced, so obviously, I sleep in a bed normally at night. But whenever I want to take naps, I find it far easier to nap on a couch rather than getting into bed.
Yes.
Huh.
Have you experienced that?
I have experienced that.
I have experienced that. However, I haven't been in that place in a long time. I will still plop down on my bed, and I'll throw a pillow in between my legs. But beyond that, there's no preparation. It is very much the same, just plop down and fall asleep kind of thing. It's not like a get into bed and throw on the sleep mask and say, "Ooh, it's nap time." It's just
Right,
I wonder if I will sit back up after I lie down here. Let's find out.
Yeah, no, it is weird. I fall asleep easier on a couch for some reason. I have no fucking clue why.
It's weird. Well, hey, let's try to keep these cozy vibes a-rolling and have a nice laid back cider flavored, or which is more emblematic of fall in America now? Is it cider or pumpkin spice?
We don't need to have the debate.
It's not a debate. I'm just asking for your impressions.
It is a debate.
In New York specifically, I would say it's cider, but rest of America, pumpkin spice.
Well, hey, everybody listening that's not in New York, hop on the cider train, a toot toot. We're getting into some geek news. So I'll go first. I don't have a ton on my mind this month. We have a lot of little things, stories that Pat shared with us, such as the flip-flop around PlayStation's upgrade prices. For those that aren't aware, PS5 sells incredibly well in that there are no more to sell. They are still very difficult to find. And so, well, normally there's some talk each generation flip from one console to the next. Like, if I have a game on my PS4, how am I going to get it to my PS5? A lot of times publishers will kind of say we'll try to help, but meh. It's become more important now that most people can't get a PS5 and are just waiting on their PS4s until one comes out. So a while ago, Sony said, hey, if you buy a game on PS4 and there's an upgraded PS5 version, you get it for free. And then that became not true. And a lot of people were like, yo, dog, what the fuck? And again, the publishers generally don't care a ton about that. They just want you to buy it as many times as they can get you to buy it. See Skyrim, see Grand Theft Auto 5. But I guess with Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, if I could say any of these words correctly, they flip-flopped all the way back to flip and have once again committed to allowing free upgrades for this particular game. I don't believe this is a policy shift for all of Sony's first-party studios, but for at least Horizon Forbidden West, if you own the game on PS4 and later upgrade to a PS5, you will not have to pay for that upgrade. I think that this is compounded by the fact that first-party titles on PlayStation are now retailing for $70 instead of $60, and there is no competitor to Game Pass that is of the same caliber as Game Pass with day one releases, whereas on Xbox you can get it on Game Pass if Microsoft publishes it, and on PC you get it through Steam, and there's always a billion discounts on Steam. So it's a big deal for the people that are primarily PlayStation gamers, and I'm glad to see that they want to do the upgrades.
Can I just say it's bullshit that video games, which were already pretty pricey at $60, are now $70, which is just even pricier.
And it gets murky because on one hand, there's a lot that goes into it. Game developers don't get quite as much return on investment up front now that they're building bigger, larger 4K games. It's such diminishing returns with modern AAA games because to build a game in 4K resolution versus 1080p resolution, it doesn't, that feature alone, if you have the exact same amount of time going into gameplay development, that's still a tremendous amount of extra time that needs to be spent on art, that needs to be spent on compiling, that needs to be spent on the engineering and people making sure that those assets will fit into the game properly. So it's just the fact that games need to be higher fidelity alone, even if you forget all the other advancements in video game technology, that balloons the cost of making a game so much. So on one hand, I'm the price of this should be going toward the developers because they're doing more work. On the other hand, when you're talking about console game prices, the reason that console games have always been more expensive than PC games, at least for the last decade and a half, is that the price of video games on console, the extra money goes towards subsidizing the console price. Consoles are almost always sold at a loss. Actually, during the Epic versus Apple trial, which I'll talk about more in a sec, Microsoft, it came out that Microsoft says they have never made a profit on an Xbox console going back at least until 2013. Like, consoles are sold at a loss. The whole purpose of a console, like think about Nintendo, is to get you to buy games. So the cost of those games subsidizes it.
No, I heard that before.
So
I heard that before, that like consoles are like one of the only things that actually cost more to make than they actually sell it for.
Yeah, so it's like it's a weird business model where on one hand you can look at what the developer, and this is still pretty reductive, but like even just these 2 points, like you can look at it like, hey, I'm helping the developer, but then you can also look at it like, hey, this is the only thing keeping the console affordable. But then there's so many interests beyond that, and to Chowder's point, at the end of the day, it's usually still someone who doesn't have a lot of money saying, I sure would like to play 2 video games, but I might only play one. Which is part of why Game Pass is earning so much goodwill for Microsoft, despite, the fact that they are also a large corporate entity with problems. But yeah, so that's been a weird thing that's worth keeping an eye on. I'm curious to see if this will lead to a bigger policy shift for Sony, or like how this continues to shift like the favorability, like the pro-consumer leanings of console buyers towards Xbox, which because of Game Pass is very much like I said, it's earning a lot of goodwill. Now, next, I actually do want to touch on the Fortnite and Apple trial. I'm going off memory here just because I didn't have my materials pulled up. But basically, last summer, Epic Games, the creators and publishers of Fortnite, as well as the Epic Games Store, they did a thing. They were big old trolls. Apple has always had a rule, and it's pretty common. They've had a rule with their App Store for iOS, iPadOS, Mac devices that says if you sell something through our store, we take a 30% cut. That's pretty common for platforms to do that. Given the size of Apple, given the size of Apple as a platform, it's attracted a lot of attention because, like, if they're so big, and how are they just forcing money out of people? So Epic Games, who actually with the Epic Games Store, they actually publish things with only a 12% margin, and lobby to get other industry publishers to do the same, believe very much that that's bullshit and bad, and it shouldn't happen. And what gets really dirty about Apple is the fact that if you want to charge a user money through the app, you have to go through Apple's payment system. If you don't want to use Apple's payment system, you cannot tell them where else to go. So you can't even say, like, hey, go to this, hey, like, buying these V-Bucks for Fortnite is going to be cheaper on the website, go there. You can't do that. You just have to offer it or not offer it. So Epic decided...
Which is basically like fucking just monopolizing the space.
And that's what a lot of the antitrust stuff has been saying. Now, last summer, Epic has... what Epic did was with Fortnite, they just used their own payment system, broke the rules, and Apple said, you think you're too big to get kicked off the App Store? No, you're not. And then they kicked Epic off the App Store with Fortnite. And then Epic was prepared, and they had a parody of Apple's 1984 commercial recreated within Fortnite, making fun of Apple, saying that they became the corrupt monster that they always made fun of. All very good stuff. Just delicious. So good. But it took a year for this stuff to get settled. Over the past month, we did see a resolution to this. So in a California court, it was ruled that Apple may no longer refrain from, they may no longer prohibit steering. So they need, even if they don't let people use their own payment systems on Apple servers, they cannot stop people from telling them where to go. So Epic won on that front. Making it easier for a lot of developers to tell people, like, hey, how to circumvent this particular paywall if they want to. Epic lost on every single other count. This is not considered a monopoly. This is not considered a superior market share, because if you look at it from the scope of Apple controls everything within their domain, you're right. But Apple doesn't have like the majority market share in almost any field except maybe apps and services for some things. So like it can't be considered a monopoly on that front. So it was a little anticlimactic. I was hoping for a bigger hammer to be swung down personally. But it is nice to see that kind of like ball gagging of people. Why did I say ball gagging? I could have just said gagging.
Why did you say that?
What? Tightening the leather straps on the hard nips of the gaming industry is just something Apple's been doing for far too long. But
I mean,
I find it comical that Epic's trying to pose themselves as some sort of anti-authoritarian and, and freedom fighter when they're a multi-billion-dollar company.
But I mean, to be fair, the only ones who can really like stand up to like other multi-billionaire dollar companies in court are them. So
yeah, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people would love to take Apple to court, but who the fuck can afford to take Apple to court? The answer apparently is Epic, and we still don't know if Epic is going to have to pay both sides of the legal bills. Still waiting on that one.
I mean, they can definitely afford that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last things I wanted to talk about.
Like that is like, even if they lost on most counts, I feel like it's a pretty big win to like,
it's a big,
make it so Apple can't prohibit steering anymore.
Exactly. And it's for the relative size of Epic to Apple. Like, Epic is very small compared to Apple, but Apple only contributes to a very small percent of Epic's profit. So like, it wasn't a huge risk for them. But it is good to see that like somebody with that kind of platform and money can lead their company to pressure a company as large as Apple to make that big a change.
Yeah.
Hopefully more to come. Who the fuck knows? Last couple things I want to mention before I zip zap zoop on over to Jeff is Star Trek had its birthday, as it does every year, September 8th. And most people that have birthdays have them every year. Suck it, February 29th. Star Trek Day was basically just a thing saying, hey, it's Star Trek's birthday, let's release a bunch of information, and that they did. We got trailers for Star Trek Prodigy, the upcoming animated show that I mentioned, as well as a theme song for it, which I think I may have said last month. The show, again, visually, like, really impresses me. We also got a release date. That will be coming out on, I believe, October 28th of this month. We got a release date for Star Trek Discovery Season 4, which is November 18th of this year. We got a full trailer for Star Trek Picard Season 2. And, like, as with I think we've all, like, watched events for, like, companies or brands that we enjoy. And, like, you sit down and watch it, you're like, oh, man, that was all pretty fun. I like seeing more news about the things I like. I know, you guys are always talking about Nintendo Directs and whatnot, and I pretend that I know what's going on there, and I don't. But, like, I was watching this, I'm like, this is all pretty good. And then they showed the Star Trek Picard trailer, and I was like, I want this so bad. Guys, the premise for this is that Q, the fucking trickster omnipotent dude from Next Generation, shows up, and like he flips the timeline into an authoritarian timeline, and they have to go back to 2021 Los Angeles and fix the timeline. It is like such weird. It
feels like they probably should have gone a little bit earlier, you know.
Well, here's the thing. Earlier in the day before this, I was looking through Star Trek episodes because I was just like, wait, what do I want to put on in the background as a Star Trek devotee? And I was thinking, like, we got a movie where they go back into the 80s and save the whales. We got episodes where they go back into the 90s and the 2000s to try to, like, fix stuff in the past. It's a tried and true thing. They've been doing it since the 60s with Operation Enterprise, I think it was, or Assignment Enterprise, whatever it was. But it just was, like, really fun to see old-ass Patrick Stewart Picard trying to navigate this situation, to see a Borg trying to drive an SUV stolen cop car. Like, I don't know, man. I wasn't expecting a silly premise, and I'm kind of glad we're getting one. It just looks so much fun.
Picard can go meet Patrick Stewart.
That would be very fun. Hey, why did you decide to revive this franchise? So you could exist! And then it's Back to the Future. Picard disappears from all episodes of Star Trek Picard. I don't know, man. Like, I can't find the words to describe it in an exciting way, but watching the trailer, I was just like, this looks fun. This looks Star Trek. It looks goofy. And it also looks like it's going to try to be a little more on the nose socially commentative than last season of Picard was. So I don't know, man. I'm pretty excited for that. That'll be coming in February. And lastly, we got news about Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is going to be featuring Captain Pike on the Enterprise 10 years before Captain Kirk. We learned that some classic characters, including Uhura, are going to be present in the show. Obviously, nice. Played by new actors and actresses. But, yeah, just some fun news there, even though we haven't gotten a trailer yet. I know they wrap shooting on it, but the Star Trek engine keeps on a chugging, and so far, I'm having a good time. Last teeny tiny bit, Halo Infinite released their second multiplayer preview over the past weekend. There will be another bout this weekend. As usual, it's a fucking slam dunk. I don't know, man. Like, everyone is in universal agreement. I cannot find anybody trashing the gameplay of Halo Infinite so far. Like, we're still kind of nervous about the lack of info we've seen around the single player and the campaign, the delayed bits, but like the multiplayer is so rock solid. The maps feel so fluid and good. The guns are all like it's a pretty small sandbox, and they did a good job of balancing all these guns so they all feel powerful, but like there are proper checks and balances. New equipment, new vehicles. It's a blast. Just go look up some clips of people using the repulsor and the grapple shot. They're like, you in this version of the beta, you could go in and like just spawn a bunch of bots and go practice. And I saw people doing shit like shooting a giant spike at a man cannon, and then it throws it back at them, and then they throw up their arm and it bounces it at a bot. Just like crazy trick shots where they like send a projectile across the map in two directions to headshot something. And I'm like, this game is fucking, there's too much silly stuff. People driving their Jeep around the corner and someone has a thing on their arm that just pushes it off a cliff. People get pushed off cliffs and then use grappling hooks to jump back on. I don't know, man. Kind of like Star Trek Picard thing. When you explain it, it's just like, okay, whatever. But there's something special about this that sings. It really feels good, and I need to get better at it. But those are the things I brought to the table. Unless you have any comments on those, which I'm guessing neither of you care that much about Halo multiplayer, we can move on.
All right. So first off, I just want to do a little update on the current state of the HasLab Victory Saber project that I started with last time.
Yeah.
If you don't know, it's Hasbro's next fan-backed Transformers project. The first one was Unicron, and that was a big thing. And this time is Victory Saber, who is a Japanese character. Currently, the backers are at 9,558 out of 11,000, so we're getting pretty close.
Yeah, that jumped a lot. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, it's been going up pretty steadily. There's currently 12 days left. I think I might have accidentally said last episode that the backing was until, like, that the backing went until the 22nd of October, which is the Hasbro Pulse con, which is not accurate. It's going to New York Comic Con, which is October 10th. So yeah, just a little bit under 2 weeks left. One aspect of it that I didn't really touch a whole lot on last time, but we've learned some more about since then, is the stretch goals. When they initially announced it, they were like, "Oh, there's this V-Lock cannon accessory that if the stretch goal, basically, if we get to 14,000, we'll get that." And that was already a little bit sketchy because, like, literally for, like, one of the characters, you just can't make one of their modes without that accessory. So it's a little weird to have that be a backer goal. Since then, we've learned what the second tier is at 17,000, which is like a flight stand / display stand. Which, again, you know, I mean, I could live without, but feels like something that we should get regardless. And we haven't currently officially got the third tier at 20,000, but they did, like, throughout the month, like maybe like a week or two ago, I can't remember, put out color renders, whereas, you know, there were just gray model images before. And in one of the color renders, there's an accessory there that is a shield that, you know, hasn't been talked about yet, so presumably that is the 20,000.
So is this like people saw a picture of the shield, but there was no official comment, so this is speculation that it's like a stretch goal?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, we have, because we know that there is a stretch goal for 20,000, but it's just currently listed as like a big question mark. And in the color renders, there's, like, you know, a 360 degree image of, like, the vehicle mode. And on that image, or like one of the 360 videos, there's this shield that is attached to the top of it, and that has not been a thing that has been mentioned at all previously. So that, I think it's a pretty safe bet that is the third backer goal.
Makes sense.
Again, like all three of these things are both like kind of lame as backer goals, but also like pretty lame that they have to be backer goals because they're just like, you know, basic ass accessories that seem pretty integral, especially since, like we talked about last time, this thing already kind of seems like it costs more than it ought to. But yeah, that's those are pretty much the updates that we've gotten with that so far. We've got a couple weeks left, and it definitely seems like it's going to, at the very least, make that 11,000, and then we'll see if it gets some of the backers. I think also a few days ago there was an announcement that they're gonna like open it up to Japan soon. So
that would
if those numbers if those numbers contribute to the backer goal, then I'm predicting that in a few days we're gonna see it like jump like a lot, like over 11,000 and maybe to the first backer goal. I don't know.
Holy cow!
Because you know obviously it's a character from the one of the Japanese shows. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is for updates with Victory Saber. In terms of other stuff, I don't have tremendous number of opinions on this, but we did fucking get a trailer for the new Matrix movie, the Matrix Resurrections.
What are your thoughts on the Matrix as a property and as a film?
I mean,
I've only ever seen the first one, which I liked, and I've heard very mixed things about the other two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, the original Matrix holds a special place in my heart, and it's just, just like, but I feel like it's also kind of a product of its time, and it's like, I don't know if it'll carry over.
To the credit of the trailer for Matrix Resurrections, this does look like it's trying to be very much a product of its time. Like, it looks like they're trying very much to, like, lampoon millennials, chain coffee,
which is weird because it's still supposed to be set in the quote unquote 90s, right? In the Matrix,
not necessarily. The end of Matrix 3, I'm going to spoil this for you and everyone. The end of Matrix 3 involves Neo going to the fucking machine city in the real world. Trinity dies, and he meets an agreement with them to shut down the Matrix and give everybody in the Matrix the ability to like opt out. So we don't know if this is going to be like the 7th iteration of the Matrix or what. Like, this could be fucking anything. It was implied that Neo died, maybe not, but hey, it's called Resurrections.
Right.
So it's a movie.
There's at least one since Trinity is in it. So.
My thought on it is it's a movie that doesn't need to happen. But I mean, like, I had this thought with Toy Story 4 where I was like, I don't need a Toy Story 4. And then I watched Toy Story 4. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that was good. I liked it.
My
that was a good
best
time.
guess is that the victory our heroes got in Matrix 3 was just another layer of the Matrix. So
yeah,
I could see that.
That's a possibility, especially because a lot of the scenes in the Resurrections trailer seem to call back to the first movie, like the helicopter in the building, them on the rooftop, just a lot of throwback shots. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, so
people seem to really like it. I was surprised.
That exists, and I'm kind of skeptical about it, as I usually am with just sort of unnecessary remakes of old things or whatever. Yeah. But
sometimes they work.
But we'll see. We'll see how it is. Another piece of news that I'm pretty excited for is we got the announcement that in the next series of Doctor Who, fucking Russel T. Davies is returning as the showrunner.
I saw that, which seems crazy to me. That
I'm so into it.
I haven't watched since the last season I saw was Capaldi's first season. I haven't seen anything since then.
I haven't seen anything since Matt Smith.
Yeah. So Russel T. Davies was the one who did Tenet and what's his face and Eccleston. Yeah, and then we had Stephen Moffat who did Smith and Capaldi. Who I have mixed feelings about, but there was also a drastic increase in budget in the show when Moffat took over, and I can't remember the name of the fucking person who's
Chris
been
Chibnall.
Yeah. It's awful. I really don't like it.
Oh no!
Like it's not like, and it's not nothing wrong with God, I should have looked up her name before.
Jody Whittaker?
Jody Whittaker. Yeah, nothing wrong with her. I think that she's a fun doctor, but the writing on the series that, that he's like been in charge of has just been pretty bad and has made some like pretty wild, like sort of like big universal retcons to like the lore and shit, which I was like, it just seems like stupid and like unnecessary and just trying to like one up storymanship, that story write, that kind of thing.
I mean, same can be said for Moffat, because like the
I
entirety
think
of
same can be said for every Doctor Who.
Could be said, yes. I would say, compared to the, like, not to get into it, but compared to the fucking nonsense thing that fucking that they most recently did with like the last season, like I wouldn't even say that about Moffat or about Davies. Like,
I don't know, man. The entirety of the Matt Smith run was dedicated to just undoing everything that happened before.
So do you guys give a shit about fucking Doctor Who spoilers?
No.
Because in the last season, the big reveal was that the Time Lords don't naturally have the ability to regenerate at all, and that it was a sort of like, I guess, technology, not really technology, but that was stolen from this mysterious like little girl that was found that could regenerate, and that little girl is the Doctor, and has had several regenerations before the first Doctor, and had like her memory wiped, and it's like, so this hasn't even fully gotten into it yet, but that was like the full implication of like, oh yeah, the Doctor is actually only special because she's this like fucking deity or some shit that the entirety of the Time Lords were based off of. It's not like the Doctor is just a Time Lord who is just a really
the Doctor
is person
stupid
or whatever.
It's
incredibly stupid.
Yeah,
and
I'm not a
hate it
fan.
so much.
I'm not a fan of Chosen One storylines.
That's stupid. I hate that. I don't like that at all.
And as dumb as Chosen One stories can be on their own, it's even more irritating to have like a character who wasn't necessarily a Chosen One retconned into being one. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that just fundamentally fucks with like a lot of, it like really retcons and recontextualizes like almost everything about the show beforehand. So that's what I mean when I say like that was a reveal that I think fucks with it even more even more so than like anything that fucking Stephen Moffat did.
So not to burn up the rest of your time, but I'd be curious as to whether Russell T Davies came to them with an idea or they came to Russell T Davies with a please fix this.
I
don't know.
I'm curious about that.
I'm not tapped into the state of the Doctor Who fandom, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, same. I'm like, we can move on from that. Chowder, you're gonna talk about the fucking Mario Brothers casting, right?
Yep.
Or the Mario movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely bringing that up.
Past that for now. What else? We got Jocelyn just posted that we got a new sneak peek for Amphibia season 3. Cool. We just got a couple new trailers for the 2 new upcoming Pokemon games, Legends Arceus and the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Nothing I would say particularly notable in there. There definitely seems like something in the Arceus trailer that suggests that we are going to have some very close equivalent of gym battles, which is something that we talked about maybe last month or the month before. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, otherwise light month. Like a lot of like small interesting things and things that will be exciting in the future, but nothing too crazy that really want
Amphibia season 3 is looking pretty cool, man. I'm digging it.
I'm going through the list of things.
Season 3 is looking pretty cool. Yep.
I couldn't hear you. The what's looking really cool?
Amphibia season 3, man.
Amphibia 3. Okay. I just kept hearing
guys,
like,
we're getting too cozy. We gotta get out of the hole.
Cool. And I'm like, I can't respond to that because I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, I am.
Fucking weird shit. I forgot about this. We got a fucking trailer for a new Marvel animated show called Hit Monkey. I have no idea what the fuck that's about. But
is that based on anything?
Mentioning.
Is that based on
anything? I have no idea.
Jason Sudeikis plays the handler for a monkey, not even like an anthropomorphic monkey, a monkey that just goes around as an assassin. And the monkey, according to the trailer, does not speak. It looks so strange. It's
I'm really
an
wondering if that's
supposed
to be like, if it's just something that Marvel's making, or if that's like canonically in the MCU. No,
it's on Hulu, so I don't think it's part of the MCU. Hulu seems to be where they shunt all their like additional Marvel things. That's where MODOK went. That's where a lot of old Marvel TV studio stuff went. So
yeah, apparently there is some comics basis for Hit Monkey.
God,
I know nothing about it.
We're gonna have to talk about that at some point. But unless you got anything else, I think we can kick it over to our boy. Chowder, time to wake up, buddy. How you doing?
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
First thing I want to talk about is the IATSE, or International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees.
Yes, please.
At the beginning of the month, they were gearing up for a possible strike against the film and TV industry. The problem was that the people who like all the stage and like setting up of the scene and stuff are overworked.
Also makeup, hair, costumes, like a ton of behind the scenes production staff.
Just about everything of the behind the scenes stuff. They are seriously overworked. They are like working 7 days a week and like spending the whole day at work, like 12 hours a day.
Jesus.
Maybe more. And they are paid a pittance compared to other parts of the film industry. And, you know, they're sick of that bullshit, understandably.
As they should be.
In the Hollywood Reporter's article on September 20, IATSE to hold strike authorization vote amid stalled contract talks. So they've been bumping up against the AMPTP, which are like this huge representative for like various multimedia corporations. So they are set to hold a strike, and they're trying to demand their rights. Let's see if I can find things.
Something that's been reassuring about this particular strike has been like the outpouring of public support from high-profile figures. Like, you know, Seth Rogen, Rob McElhenney, I feel like Jamie Lee Curtis. I hope I'm not misquoting that. But, like, I've seen so many different, like, A-list celebrities come out and say, like, hey, what we do would not be possible without them fucking pay them and treat them like humans.
Yeah.
And it's like, a lot of times it gets weirdly political in these kinds of situations, like whom you're going to support and how you're going to support it. And it seems to be pretty universal, like, these are the people to support here.
I mean,
it's nice to see it not be as politicized as other strikes.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the last person they want to piss off is their makeup artist. An actor.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all going to be into podcasting real fast once that shit falls through.
But yeah, they've also been getting support from like other kinds of industries, such as like various special effects and animation industries, because, you know, this shit affects everyone. Yeah. And their demands are pretty freaking fair. Don't give us so many hours, give us a freaking living wage in LA, and just the worker is entitled to the fruits of their labor, man.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, like the all the kind of work you can get in LA basically necessitates you to live in LA, and guess what's one of the most expensive places to live right now? LA.
Yep.
So, you know.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, yep. Jeff, what I don't know why I didn't tell you this, but I flied up Microsoft Flight Simulator a while ago. I flew over LA at sunrise, and I flew over Long Beach. It looks very nice.
Oh,
that's all.
Okay.
I have nothing else to add. Just adding to the cozy vibes. Nice sunrise over Long Beach.
The fucking way you said that was felt like you were gonna say you're going there soon, but you're like, no, I fucking went there virtually.
Yep, sure did. Felt great. It was nice to see you, buddy. Sorry,
well,
Jeff.
I saw my apartment.
Yeah, I mean. Because this is still ongoing, both sides have, who stayed mum about the specific details, but it seems that discussions have gone and stopped a bunch. So like this is going back and forth is what I'm saying. But this is still ongoing, so we'll probably have to talk about this in a future episode.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be probably a few months before we see some like really settled stuff about this.
Yeah, speaking of touching on stuff that's ongoing, Activision workers are suing, saying the company is using coercive tactics to stop them from unionizing, including intimidation, surveillance, hiring, and hiring notorious union busters.
What? Activision? I thought they were my friends. They made the Tony Hawk games. Aw, man.
Some of that stuff we talked about last time, too.
Oh, yeah, we talked over the last 2 months.
I know we've been talking about Activision, like, every month for the past, like, 4 months or whatever, but, like, specifically, like, the hiring of union busting guy, and shit was something we talked about last time.
Yeah. I mean, this is from, like, AJ Plus, and they made that statement on September 14, 2021. So,
Gotcha.
So, I think it's still important to just reiterate that, even if it has a small footnote.
I wasn't saying that we shouldn't be talking about it again.
I get that. It's
continuing thing still.
It is kind of crazy to see how quickly it went from, they hired a union buster to another lawsuit. Like, that was a pretty quick turnaround.
Overwatch 2's boss, or in Kotaku, Overwatch 2's boss is quitting Blizzard for some quote-unquote time off. I'm curious if that's like a protest quit or because, because he's one of the bad boys. I'm not sure. It doesn't say.
Honestly, there's a third option, which is this is suddenly not an environment in which I can function the way I want to. Like, even if you're totally agnostic, like that, just being we get stressed talking about it. Imagine being in the middle of it.
Yeah. I mean, it could also just be that the development for Overwatch 2 has been fucking hell because they already lost the creative lead in Jeff Kaplan. And this was the guy who took Jeff Kaplan's place, and he is gone now. Also, I am pretty sure he was part of the bullshit. Don't quote me on that because, but yeah. Let's see. Jeff Kaplan left. Game director Louis Barriga left. Lead designer Jesse McCree, one of the Sex Pests, left. Jonathan LeCraft was let go. And the one this article is about is Chaco Sony, who has been at Blizzard since 2016 and worked on both Overwatch games. And if anyone has been keeping up with Overwatch 2, it's just like they announced it right after the whole debacle with Hong Kong and with the Hong Kong protests. And it was very clear they were just trying to distract with a exciting announcement.
Yeah.
But like every time you hear anything about Overwatch, it's that they have no fucking clue what to do. And it's just like, anyone who ever cared about Overwatch, it's just like, I've lost all faith.
Yep. Seen that happen to too many games that could be amazing, where it's like, hey, some people behind the scenes want to make a really cool thing, but look at everything surrounding them. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, Overwatch 2 is fucked. And like, I was already fed up with Overwatch during the first Overwatch because, they just didn't do anything with the story or characters at all.
And this was supposed to be like their revamp, their Destiny Taken King style revamp of like, hey, we've got a good story, we've got good lore, we've got like more supplementary material. And it's just like, it's weirdly heartbreaking to like watch the production of a thing you care about stumble like this. I don't know. It's uniquely like affecting, but also kind of like distanceable. It's very easy to say like, oh, this doesn't affect me too much, but also I really wish it was better.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Moving on. Something else that depresses me. So Nintendo had its direct, and they
something else that depresses me is such a good segue into this.
They announced like who's voicing the characters in the upcoming Super Mario Bros. Movie made by Illumination. They also announced the date, or a sort of release date, which is holiday of 2022. Let's just take the Band-Aid off. Chris Pratt is Mario, and I hate that. I hate that. Just one.
It's not a good cast.
No. One, it's just kind of a slap in the face to Charles Martinet, who spent his life playing Mario and is now being sidelined for Chris Pratt, the worst Chris.
Okay, hold on a second though. You can't the way that you sell a movie half the time is by its cast. You can't put Charles Martinet on the poster 4 times and expect someone who doesn't care about Mario to go see the movie. Like that was never gonna happen.
Look, I
fucking think if you're expecting people to go to the movie just because Chris Pratt is fucking Mario, like that's not.
A lot of people
are
like
going
Chris
to the movie
Pratt.
to watch Mario, and guess who's kind of is Mario?
Nah.
Martinet.
Nah.
Okay,
But what's going to happen?
There's
No,
this
hold
whole
on.
thing too, where it's like, I understand why they do it, and yeah, you're right. It'll probably get more people in seats or whatever, but that doesn't mean that we have to be happy about the fact
that's
that
the thing.
fucking
No,
Chris
you sure
Pratt
I get
is
why.
playing
Yeah,
Mario.
because here's the thing.
I'm just not
I don't
happy.
care about it. I am unfazed by the news. I'm just enjoying how many people are upset by it. Because at the same time, people are also praising the casting of Jack Black as Bowser and Charlie Day as Luigi. So, like, it's just the Chris Pratt of it all that I'm really enjoying watching people freak the fuck out about.
Personally, I'm
listen-
skeptical about both of those things as well.
I am not
myself,
skeptical about Charlie Day as Luigi. I'm on board with that.
I mean, I have mixed feelings about Charlie Day as Luigi, but like, look, if it was someone more appropriate for the role for Mario, I wouldn't have such an extreme reaction. But it's Chris Pratt.
Yeah, it's not just the fact that it's
and
not the original guy.
Like,
it's like,
yeah, because there have been people who played Mario before Martinet. Yeah, they had a very different take, but still, Chris Pratt, his entire typecast is playing man-children, which, it's not really Mario. He's kind of just your classic heroic sort of cartoon.
It does say a lot.
And I could also see them making Mario a man-child for the sake of this movie, just because like that's such an easy fucking like default protagonist to just insert into things.
Yeah.
Oh man, Chowder, about a minute left on the 12-13 for you. I don't know if you want to dive deeper into this or mention something else.
I mean, I guess lightning mode here. Bayonetta 3 finally had some news. That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Makes me motivated to keep playing or finish up Bayonetta 2 because it was a good game, but I fell off that. New Kirby announced. It is it is a 3D platformer open world type thing, which is a first for Kirby. Because they mostly stuck to side scrollers and stuff, so that's really interesting. I'm interested in that. We got a little more look at Splatoon 3. That's looking pretty cool. And is there anything I can talk about within half a minute? No. So I guess okay. One more thing. Deltarune Chapter 2 came right the fuck out of nowhere on September 17th, and that was like, oh shit, that's hype. That's dope. It was announced right after the Undertale 16th anniversary celebration event, and it's just like, hell yeah, it's free. It's really good. I played through all of it, and it's like, yeah, that's dope. And
nice.
It was a pleasant surprise.
That was a very pleasant surprise.
It was a very pleasant surprise because I did not expect to hear about it after 3 years? So here's to another 3 years till Chapter 3, I guess.
Yep. Fair enough. Okay, well let's take a little pivot here, a quick pivot into the cozy hole, the rating section. So I think that we've warmed ourselves up sufficiently, but we're going to take a second to review all these headlines and try to figure out, as an editorial group, which story do we think is going to be the most important or interesting or impactful? Same words I used at the top of the show. We have to figure out, of all the things you just mentioned, if you're only going to remember one of them, what should it be? I would nominate Chris Prario just to troll you guys, but in reality, I think it would be
that's where I'm leaning to be honest.
I would say either the IATSE strike or the Apple ruling, which I don't know. I wanted the Apple ruling felt like it should have been bigger, but ended up not being quite as big as a lot of people were expecting.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say the strike is probably my nomination for top story.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the strike is the top nomination.
Well, Jeff,
that makes sense.
You got nothing to lose by nominating
option,
Mario.
To be honest.
Majority rules, you can nominate Mario just for the hell of it.
Honestly,
no, I mean, that's the thing.
If you nominate Mario, I will take your cue on that.
Both of them, both of these things just kind of seemed like lack of better options things for me. Not that the strike isn't important, of course, but
Yeah, but you're back in New York for now, so you've fully sloughed off any effect this might have on you.
Well, yeah. Also, I just don't fucking work in that industry, so
that's less important.
That strike I feel like is probably the most important thing, because the Mario thing is I don't know, that's hits the that's the worst of both worlds for me, where it's like, it's certainly not important, and it's also not something I'm excited about. It's something that I'm dreading. You know what I mean? So it's like, usually I try to pick stuff I'm excited about, which is why I tend to steer away from like your strikes and your controversies and stuff like that, unless it's like really, really big. But, you know, if it's going to be something that I'm not excited about and is also very unimportant, then probably the strike is the thing that matters way more.
It's been very fun to see people say, hey, we bullied the studios into fixing Sonic. Can we bully them into recasting Mario 2?
I have seen memes where it's like, Sonic fans preparing to help out the Mario fans.
Hey, man, yeah, you gotta fucking start building up this Smash Brothers cinematic universe pretty early.
I think that also, though, that's a fundamental misunderstanding of how these things are made, because Sonic
definitely.
Post-production.
No,
Chris Pratt probably recorded these lines 2 years ago and is now just getting all these mean tweets like, what did I do?
Yeah,
I was just doing my job
definitely.
in 2019. Oh, man. That's fucking wild. Well, there you have it. The IATSE strike. You can find tons of information like all over the internet. There are tons of articles, big popular tweets about it, all that fun stuff. Not really fun. It's a tough situation, but I really hope it works out for the folks in the entertainment industry. Pushing back against the other folks in the entertainment industry. I need to pre-write some of this stuff, guys. I'm a disaster. But that's going to about wrap it up. In a couple weeks, we'll be back with a regular book club episode. We've been floating a couple ideas. Some folks suggested Squid Game, a Netflix show, a Korean show that is making waves. What was the thing that you two were talking about doing?
I mean, just for a while now, we've been talking about doing, was it Hylix 2 or Hylix 3?
Hylix 2.
Hylix 2.
Yeah. So we're
as like a default thing, but I could go either way myself.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And there was other news you missed that we didn't mention here. We got a Hawkeye trailer that was kind of fun. Nintendo Switch finally has Bluetooth support. A lot of little things that just kind of didn't bubble up too far, at least not as high as Chris Prario. So.
Yeah, I mean, something I wanted to talk about but didn't get the chance was that Soviet chess champion suing Netflix over how sexist their depiction of her was in Queen's Gambit. Because basically, she was a very prominent chess champion, and the queen who did definitely play against men and was very good. And
that's fucking weird because like I get it, like for the sake of their story, they're trying to talk about this fictional person, right? But then they could have just not mentioned her at all instead of trying to like, in a line of dialogue, rewrite her fucking history. That's a wild thing to fucking do.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, upon learning this, my opinion of Queen's Gambit kind of went down. Like, now it just feels like propaganda.
Because I liked Queen's Gambit a lot. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good too, but like, there's something that's just like, oh, here's this real-life woman who was basically the same as the main character, and they just kind of downplayed her to make their American...
Right, because she was Russian and the main character was American.
To make their pretty American character look cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no pretty Americans here on this show right now. Why did I just duck on all of us for a segue? That wasn't worth it.
I mean, it's accurate.
I've been Colin Ketchen. Be grateful that you're listening to my voice and not seeing my face. You can find not my face on other things such as dicepopuli.com. And that's all for now. I'll be doing some work for some other stuff soon, but for now, that's it. Just go check out all our other podcasts. It's me.
I've been Jeff Leavitt. I've got a YouTube toy review channel where I look at, toys. Mostly Transformers stuff, but sometimes some other things. That is Alchemist Prime Reviews on YouTube. And my face is also pretty not featured in that channel, so don't you worry.
Hi, I'm Untitled Chapter or Chowder, whichever you prefer. You can find me on Twitter at Untitled Chapter. I'm also on the sister podcast Dice Populi. While you won't be seeing my face on there, you will be hearing my terrible British accent on the 5W at some point.
Oh my god, it was so... I just edited all that today. Holy cow, guys. There were like 3 people doing terrible like British and or Scottish accents and one actually Scottish person on the show. It was ridiculous. It was so fun to hear him like roast all their accents. I laughed really hard.
Yeah, no, that was gold. Love it.
He's like, what part of Pakistan are you guys all from?
Who the fuck did you have on the show that was Scottish?
A gentleman from another podcast called Roll to Save, but you can find out more info on that from in Dice Populi. That'll be out 2 days ago as of this airing. It's a chonker, and it's pretty fun. But that said, I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing adult things, hopefully not too long, because I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm still in a pretty cozy headspace.
Yeah, see ya,
Good
man.
for you.
Ciao.
Durr.
This episode of the Common Briefing Program is hosted by me, Colin, joined as usual by Jeff and Chowder. You can always find out more about the show at commongeekingprogram.com and our other projects there as well. This podcast is brought to you by... that burp, I guess. I was going to say something else, but that just bubbled up at just the wrong time. I am so sorry. The podcast is created and produced by myself and Jeff Leavitt, with this episode and its original music all edited and done by me. Stick around for a little post-credits here in just a second, and tune in 2 weeks for another episode. And thank you for listening to this. I did not give you guys any runway for that ending there. I'm so sorry.
No, I was just like, what? How do you want me to respond?
I led you to the cliff, jumped off.
Was there a goal to get out of the coziness? I have no idea what you're talking
about.
No,
man. Chowder said the word nap and it infected my brain. I'm so sorry. That said, if you do take a nap, I hope it is lovely.
And stopping this recording.
Yes.